Guys, happy Saturday. It is bright and early. Well, it's actually not bright and early. It's dark and early. The bank contagion is spreading, okay? I talked about Credit Suisse earlier in the week. Looks like they're going under, all right? And people are like, we think it can't happen to us and we're ignorant. And it's just like, those banks are all out in Argentina that are failing. Don't worry about that. Or, all those banks out in Turkey that are failing. Don't worry about that. Or, all those banks in Nigeria are failing. I don't have to worry about that. Or, those banks in Lebanon are all failing. I don't have to worry about that. But now we're seeing it in Europe, okay? And we're also seeing it in America. One of the biggest banks in America just went wallop. Just literally went wallop, okay? Do not wait. Pay attention to this stuff. Every single bank in the world cannot sustain a bank run, okay? They're all vulnerable. Learn about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is your own bank. You don't have to trust anybody. There's no fractional reserve.
You do not really understand the concept of banking. All the banks are broke. Bank Santander, Deutsche Bank, Royal Bank of Scotland, they're all broke. And why are they broke? It isn't an act of God. It isn't some sort of tsunami. They're broke because we have a system called fractional reserve banking, which means that banks can lend money that they don't actually have. It's a criminal scandal and it's been going on for too long. To add to that problem, you have moral hazard, a very significant moral hazard from the political sphere. And most of the problem starts in politics and central banks, which are part of the same political system. We have counterfeiting, sometimes called quantitative easing, but counterfeiting by any other name. The artificial printing of money, which if any ordinary person did, they'd go to prison for a very long time. And yet governments and central banks do it all the time. Central banks repress the amount of interest that rates are, so we don't have the real cost of money. The sheer effrontery of this is quite astonishing. It's central banks. It's central banks that manipulate interest rates, Commissioner. And plus, underneath all this, we talk loosely in a rather cavalier...
So, with fractional reserve banking, banks are broke. They don't got the money. Okay, it's just how the money system works. So you've got banks going bust. You have risk of banks going bust. Okay, you have risk of bail-ins now because laws changed since the 2008 great financial crisis. They changed the laws because there's not an appetite for bailouts anymore. It's bail-ins. Okay, so bail-ins are available. And the third thing is that you've got currency debasement. All right, and this isn't even, I was going to say it's a risk. It's not a risk, it's a guarantee. It's just maths. When you understand the debt, it's not mathematically possible. The only way it's possible for this financial system to continue is to continue to debase the money. And that's why Bitcoin was invented. So that means even if you do nothing, your bank doesn't go bust over this decade, you're going to lose a load of purchasing power. Okay, so basically you're losing money regardless. Hedge yourself. Okay, then you keep it simple. So what does hedge mean? Hedge just means that you don't have all your eggs in one basket, okay? You're investing in a couple of different outcomes, or you're storing or holding your wealth in a couple of different uncorrelated places. So Bitcoin is uncorrelated to our financial system. People who had their money in Credit Suisse, in Silicon Valley Bank, one of the biggest banks in America, right? They're all bankrupt now, and all these Turkish banks, they're all bankrupt because of counterparty risk. The bank screwed up, okay, made bad decisions, and basically lost all their money. Bitcoin has zero counterparty risk. There is no counterparty to trust. This is the beauty of this asset. This is why it's insurance, okay? Among all the other things that I talk about, it's also just bloody insurance, lads. And the way things are going this decade, everyone needs insurance. You've got house insurance, car insurance, life insurance. You need financial insurance, and you're crazy to keep your head in the sand and not do the work on this thing.